What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. We back. The Syndicate is back, baby. We're back on Shoutout. We're going to be talking about some huge changes to the Little Cup metagame today. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Now, one of the first things I'm going to be talking about is this little Pokemon right here, Flittle. The LC Council, the people in charge of deciding what is going to be making it into the metagame of Little Cup and not, they have decided to quick ban Flittle. Now, Flittle is one of the new Gen 9 Pokemon. It's pure Psychic type, and it primarily, one of the reasons it got banned is because of it has the ability called Speed Boost, which each turn you're out in the field, you get a speed boost, and already having great speed at 18 is really, you know, you get to move first. Let's just say that you move first a lot. Now, as far as I'm aware, Baton Pass is banned, so that's not really problematic, but gets this move right here, Stored Power. Now, plus 20 for each of the user stat boost. You get basically a free 20 every turn. And then you also have Recovery and Roost. Your bulk isn't that amazing because you have like 30 HP, 30 defense, and 40 special defense. Couple that with an EV Light, and you're a bit tankier, but the main thing that makes this problematic is Calm Mind as well, which adds basically 40 base power to stored power alongside speed boost, which adds 20, which means that in one turn you can add 60 base power to stored power. You can heal yourself while also making yourself more tanky on the speed F side, and it also got some other stuff like U-turn. You can Terra into a Fairy type and use Terra Blast to get Fairy coverage for Dark types, which is problematic for it. So Flittle is very, very problematic in that sense. However, in draft, I think it's going to be a little bit more manageable. I originally thought, like Espatra, that it got Opportunist, which would, I believe also that would have been a little problematic, because if someone tries to boost past you, someone sets up an SD to try to take you down, someone sets up, Calm Mind or an Acipod to try and blow past you, Opportunist just takes that on the same turn. Just snags that. It's mine now. You just add to store power with that, which is really problematic. So you can also do other stuff. You can do agility, you can do, but speed boost got you covered. However, you could do like an agility set now in draft if you ban speed boost. With Frisk and Anticipation, I can see this mon being a little bit more manageable since it doesn't have Opportunist. 18 speed is still going to be a lot though, and give it like enough turns of Calm Mind and it's still going to be the same problem, but you now have a little bit more turns to play with, interact with. But it can also do other stuff, like it can do probably a Scarf set with some U-turn trick. Or it can do Light Clay screens, I guess, as well. So it's not like, if we ban Speed Boost and use it in draft, it's not going to be completely relying on this set, but this is pretty much by far the set that's going to give you the most value. So bring your Dark types, but was too much to handle for the LC ladder. It remains to see what other leagues do in the Little Cup draft, such as APA and stuff, if they choose to keep it around or whatnot. But the LC Council banned Flittle, but not only that, there was something huge that was recently discovered by the community. I was just brought onto this myself as well for not too long ago, and that is the removal of the item called Berry Juice. Now, if you don't know what Berry Juice does, real quick, for mons like Bronzor, Berry Juice is really vital. Let's just pretend this is Berry Juice. It heals 20 HP when you're at half HP. Most of the mons in the format, they have 20 to 30 HP. Like, maybe 30 is a stretch even. Maybe like 20 to 27 HP if you're really tanky. And when you're at half of that, Berry Juice is going to bring you back to full. And that's really good for Pokemon like that has Sturdy as their ability. Because if you add Berry Juice onto that, obviously, you chip the Sturdy and you get brought down to half. Berry Juice takes you back up to full HP, which then makes it so that they have their Sturdy a second time. And if they get the move Recycle, like Magnemite did, then you can bring Berry Juice back. And of course, that is just a whole nother ballpark with a continuous cycle of healing yourself and being able to tank a hit and all that sort of stuff. So for those mons that got Sturdy, this is a huge loss. I was prepared for Nacli to be really good with Sturdy, and I know it doesn't get Recycle, but like Recover and maybe Berry Juice. EV Light's still going to be nice, but it is a huge takeaway for mons like Bronzor that really relied on recycled berry juice. Mons like Ball Toy, which, you know, especially in draft where you use up, there's a 2 item slot restriction. You use up your 2 Eviolite somewhere else on the team for the more like powerful stuff like Timber and the carries on top like Poniard, stuff like that. You want to use your Eviolite there. This gets resigned to using berry juice, and so now it can't do that anymore, which is going to be huge. I think resist berries like Colbur and stuff like that, Chople, things that reduce your effective damage, is going to be really potent now, because berry juice is gone, and that just opens up a whole nother playing field for them to do that. You still have Aurum Berry as well, which does the same as berry juice, just half as good. But there's a lot of mods that doesn't really get to utilize this as good because their HP stat just doesn't allow this to recover for full. So it's not like they're completely left without an option, but they're severely reduced. And as we call them now, and you can start calling them berry losers because of course they lost berry juice. So we have some berry losers out in the field right now that really ought to be struggling because of that. One of the mons in particular I feel really bad for is Drifloon. On ladder, Drifloon got banned in the past with berry juice. Now it's going to be a completely different story because this thing with berry juice recycle, it got recycled before I believe, but even with berry juice and Unburden Acrobatics is really strong, and you can also run Will-O-Wisp Hex, Calm Mind, stuff like that. Really strong mon, really good user of berry juice as well. Because obviously you don't really use an Eviolite. It's not a one-time use item, so it doesn't really proc Unburden that well. But berry juice did, right? And so this mon has been severely reduced to what it is now. It still has Terra Blast because, you know, it is in the new game or whatever. And it can use Terra. It's pretty good offensively still if you get a couple Calm Minds in. And you can do some other stuff to proc Unburden and get that acrobatics boost, but berry juice was it, man. Berry juice was the primary go-to for these Pokemon, and it's sad to see some of the mons that really actually had a spotlight because of berry juice now are gonna kind of fade into nothingness. Stuff like Onyx as well. When Onyx was around, it's not in the game currently, but maybe like when Home comes out, or even in draft if you play Nat decks, right? Onyx was a sturdy Pokemon. It's probably the best Rocks user out there because of its really fantastic 160 defense. It has quad weaknesses, but with sturdy berry juice, you're gonna get knocked down. You get rocks up, and berry juice takes you up to sturdy again, and you get off like a base 45 attack Earthquake or something like that. Now I think we'll see a lot more like Eviolite Weak Armor Dragon Dance sets and stuff like that. Like Eviolite is still in the game, thankfully. Without Eviolite, this whole metagame would have been turned on its head. It's still a huge, massive change to not have berry juice, but it's still they at least have something. So yeah, it's really exciting to see how the metagame has taken a turn because of berry juice getting lost and Flittle getting banned. We're also discovering things every single day of these new mons. I'm excited for some stuff to see where it goes myself, like Bramblin. I don't really think Revered will do that well. It has Fluffy, but yeah, and it's a ghost type, but I can't really see it being ban worthy and stuff like that, like up in that echelon. But there's a lot of new mons, and we're figuring stuff out about Scarlet Violet LC metagame every day. And people are starting to making their tier lists to be able to run Little Cup draft leagues, and people are probably going to have to revamp them completely. You can't just make a few changes because berry juice being gone is going to flip the table. So this is definitely a huge thing for Frigibax. I'm also really excited about. There's a lot of new mons that I really want to take a look at. But it's interesting to see stuff like Flittle getting banned because you don't really think Spoink is really good, right? Spoink is just like decent, yeah, thick, fat, own tempo, gluttony, 16 speed, and this thing also has like stored power. It doesn't really have a good way to heal itself, so that's kind of a difference there, which could be. But like their psychic types was stored power, Calm Mind everywhere. So when I made my original tier list, I didn't think Flittle was going to be that good, It ended up being better than I imagined. Way better because of speed boost. But hopefully without speed boost you can still see some play without being too broken. We're in the testing phase and we're figuring things out every day, but that is basically the huge news that's been coming to the Little Cup meta. And for everyone who's not really tried Little Cup yet, I definitely recommend you give it a try. It's a really fun metagame, really offensive 20-turn metagame. Get up hazards, get your sweepers out. It's really offensive and really fun. So I definitely recommend you go give it a try yourself. That's going to be it for this time. Thank you guys for watching the update video, and I'll keep you posted if there's anything huge news to the Little Cup metagame that is going to change. I also want to start doing some OU videos as well, even though LC is my primary area of expertise. So stick around for that. Make sure to subscribe to the Syndicate, and see you guys around. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting and all that. This has been your boy Soulblaze, and as always, take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.